Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com, and I'm just going to make as short a video as I can about this. Probably doesn't end up coming out that short, but just shout outs and that kind of stuff. People I'm interacting with on YouTube on their channels, great channels, most of the channels I end up going to. There's been a few comments or just opinions, curiosities about the blog, the name of my channel, everything like that. And let's see here, how can I do this? Okay, so this is a blog, allmediareviews.blogspot.com. It's a blog I started in 2006. It was the end of 2006, really, but so do the math. We're looking at almost 10 years since then. Back then, YouTube was really in its infancy, and I never would have thought about making videos. Well, yes and no. I actually did have a camera, a different kind of camera that I shot little videos that I actually have another account that I uploaded. Just little teeny videos of my grandmother's dog and that kind of stuff. But anyway, I never would have thought about doing that. I started the blog in 2006. I had done a live journal before that, which was I wrote about music, but it was more just rambling on. It's still up, and it's pretty scary to read, although there's a lot of valid stuff that I talked about. It's interesting, but I don't really explain a lot of it. A lot of it's sort of internal, and it was for my own therapy. The blog itself, I thought, well, could be similar, but also different in that, it just got frustrating with my interest in music. Not only in music, it was about, I wanted just to have a spot, because I would interact on message boards and forums. This is probably before I was ever on Facebook, when MySpace was in existence, and I was using MySpace actually a decent amount, but it still was message boards, that kind of stuff, and maybe email lists. And I just thought it's frustrating because I would talk about bands and other stuff. I had opinions about stuff, and sometimes it would garner no attention. Sometimes the things I would talk about would garner attention, but it just got frustrating. I talked about that in the old live journal, but I thought, well, let's make it a little more official, and blogspot.com was sort of maybe at its peak in terms of being common. I don't know if WordPress and some of the other sites were not as common, and Tumblr was, I don't even know if Tumblr was around then. So Blogspot was the way to go, and then it had a relationship with Google, blah, blah, blah. So I started that blog, and I was writing about music primarily. Anyway, so fast forward, and I've done that since 2006. I've had some more active times and some less active times in that whole 9 years and change. But YouTube got more popular, of course, and there were like music reviewers on there and like official channels with music videos and stuff, and it just felt the need to actually start using it more, but I still was very shy about going on there, showing myself, talking, using my voice. I'd done some podcasting and radio, of course, but never done television, of course, and never really made home videos. So, but it just got to the point, you saw people like The Needle Drop and some of these other channels, and I just was like, why shouldn't I try starting this? And so I did a couple of years ago in 2014, and I bought a camera, and I still didn't know how much I was going to use. I just try and see how it went. But the name, okay, so going back to the name, the biggest reason for this video is the name. I went with a slightly different name that's also actually the primary name of my channel. It's All Media Reviews Blog. The reason why I did that, and the problem was, there was already someone named All Media Reviews on YouTube, which really bugged the hell out of me, and I just was like, you know what, screw this, I will just use my blog's name for the channel, and the whole part of the biggest reasons why I even went to Facebook and went to, I never really did it on MySpace, I can't remember, maybe a little bit, but was obviously to promote the blog. The blog already was finding a lot of traffic as it is, but I thought, why not? And so I'll just leave my name as the blog, and I figured it would carry over, and after a couple of years of doing YouTube, or really, I guess you could say a year and change, I've tried doing this. It hasn't really that much. It has a little bit, but not to the point. I mean, I do post, obviously, videos I make in the blog, but it doesn't seem, I think there's a percentage of people that even find the blog that if I post a video, they'll watch a minute of it and then they're done. So anyway, that's more or less the reason why I took the name. The actual user that says the name, like my name on Twitter, is All Media Reviews. I don't know if they still exist on YouTube, because I thought I went looking for them a couple times the last few months and didn't find them. The counter to that is there's a blog that's allmediareviews.com, which they started like in February, March, and it's about music actually primarily, but it hasn't. It didn't have a ton of activity, so I don't know. I've thought about some things, obviously, being around for 10 years now on the blog and what I'm going to do, and I'm juggling this whole process of getting married, which is in September, and my time that I give to this. I mean, if I could, I'd give as much more time than I do to both the blog and the YouTube channel. I give more time to the blog, obviously, since I've been doing it, and YouTube videos just take a lot of time. They just, as I came to learn, especially since I don't even spend enough time really editing and doing all that stuff. I'd like to, but I'm not astute. It just takes so much time just to, save the videos and do the actual editing and saving, at least with Premiere Elements software, which I've tried using, that it just, right now, the time isn't really there, since I'm trying to focus on a wedding, and then I'm going to have to try to find a place to live, because I don't live with my fiance at this point. But that's kind of the short or long explanation behind it. The blog itself, allmediareviews.blogspot.com, the name, or All Media Reviews, wasn't a name I actually chose when I was thinking about trying to start another blog, not the live journal I used to keep. The name was chosen by the one who actually founded it, who just wanted someone else to help write with him. And after about, it was like less than 6 months, he actually had life happen and hasn't really done much since. I don't know if he started another blog at some point, but it was kind of the past the point of no return kind of thing, that I never changed the name. And it was a general name. I thought, well, okay, it's a name that will find hits maybe easier than some more specific names. And the first few years, 3, 4, 5 years or whatever it wasn't just about music, the blog. If you ever do research on the blog, it was about, obviously, primarily music, concerts, and then it started to become, because the way that blogs and social media kind of evolved, it's all about what have you done for me lately. It's all about not the day even, the news about the hour, the minute. So it was about announcing albums largely. But initially it was about other things, largely like movies and television. Movies especially, I did a lot of long movie reviews. And some news here and there, and whatever. But I got to the point where it was so much more about music. I figured people that would be looking for information about it on the blog about music wouldn't necessarily care about movies and television. They might, but not so much. And people that were maybe finding it for the movies and television news wouldn't necessarily care about these obscure bands, weren't as big of music fans necessarily. So that's why I decided just to make it 100% music, and I didn't change the name, because just, again, past the point of no return. So I started a different blog, All Media Reviews, not music. Not music. But I haven't really been able to. I write in that it's maybe a couple times a year at this point. But the time, hopefully, after this whole transitional period, and I'm working 10 hours of overtime every week right now. I don't know if that's gonna. We've had overtime where I work for almost forever since I've been there. But priorities and that kind of stuff, and making time. Hopefully will allow me to do more on not just the main blog and YouTube, but on other stuff besides music, because I'm a huge movie fanatic, and television is sort of hit and miss. I do love my television. I have a lot of DVD sets that I would probably be easy to do a video or two about, because I have a lot of them, but it wouldn't be like I would go through every show extensively. So at some point, hopefully, I'll do that. But again, as far as the name, that's how it is. I'm thinking after certain milestones like 10 years and the number of hits on the blog specifically, I don't know, maybe a subscriber count, if that ever happens, because I don't have that many subscribers. I might think about changing it, but again, I don't know why. Even though it's a mouthful, allmediareviews.blogspot.com as opposed to just All Media Reviews or something else. I don't know what I would call it, but I might. I'm also thinking about how much I'm going to spend on it depending on where I'm at. I'm trying to reach certain milestones 10 years being one of them, which isn't that far away. But anyway, so that's the short or long explanation behind my name. Is it a creative name? Not the most creative name. I have the business cards. I need to make new business cards, actually, probably, but these were done at least 6 or 7 years ago. But yeah, that's the short or long explanation behind the name allmediareviews.blogspot.com. And we'll see, I guess, a year from now, 6 months from now, I'll see about if anything needs to be changed. Maybe nothing does need to be changed as far as the name goes. Maybe something will. I do have a lot of things I do in the blog, a lot more than on YouTube. That's part of the reason. So if you find this YouTube channel, if you're interested in other things I'm talking about beyond what I do on this channel, which is definitely the case, I'm working on a really massive list entry at the moment, and I do these big entries for information on the blog. Those are time consuming, but I'm better at doing that than probably any of the long videos. Stuff like my concert history list. I'm thinking about making a video about that, about favorite live bands, but I have a whole concert history list I did last year, or just the end of the year album list, that kind of stuff, and other stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's kind of the long explanation behind the name, and we'll see where we go from there. But thanks for watching, and please subscribe or comment if you have anything to say or want to hear more, want to see more rather. Bye.